everyone. Welcome to another episode of Bros Who Know. Irrefutably authentic. I'm Dr. Jeff LaCure. Once again, I'm with my podcast partner, the Ronald Reagan of podcasts, Richard Yancey. And today, we got a good one for you. This is one that you got to gather the wife, the kids, the family, everybody, co-workers, people you don't like. More importantly, make sure you invite somebody who's a guy. Because Rich and I are going to talk with you today about how to be an alpha dog, how to be the big dog. See, if you remember, Rich and I did a really, actually, seriously, very important podcast on the death of masculinity. And Rich and I have decided to resurrect masculinity. We're going to bring it back to you. So, Rich, before I give you, I generated a list.
Shoot it.
Of what makes someone an
and
alpha
dog.
We
never talked about this, so he's shooting it from off the cuff.
Oh, absolutely. And we may agree, we may disagree.
Off the cuff.
See, because that's what alpha dogs do. They don't always agree.
Bring it.
Yeah, right? That's kind of cool.
It.
So here's the very first thing I wrote down, that if you're not any of these on the list, I don't know if you're an alpha dog. I think you have to be them all.
Well, you have to want to be an alpha dog to be an alpha dog.
Absolutely.
That's like.
Here's the first one I put down. Alpha dogs own their own shit, and they will happily apologize when they make a mistake.
Okay, so are you asking me or are you telling me?
I'm putting it out there as I think that's one of the foundations.
Okay, so alpha dogs are, because I am one, despite what anyone else is going to say. So alpha dogs, basically, everything's our fault, Jeff. And the reason why is because we take full responsibility of every decision we make, whether it is...
We own it.
Yeah, whether we make a mistake or not. If we shake that hand and I lose, then guess what? I lose. But what alpha dogs do, which is unbelievable, is that we, even when we lose, we do the right thing.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
So whatever decision... So if I made a decision to be with a girl and she screws up, that's my fault too.
We own it.
Yeah, we own it.
Alpha dogs own our shit.
Yeah. But because of that, we make less bad decisions.
That's right.
Okay, so that's the thing that you have to take away from this. It's not so much that, bragging about me. We have to take away from it. Once you own every decision you make, the problem, the great thing about that is that you're not going to make any, you're going to make less bad decisions.
That's right. And when we do, we apologize. We own it.
Go.
Here's one of my favorites.
All right, go ahead.
Alpha dogs never use gender pronouns to describe themselves.
Yeah, I'm talking. I didn't even think about that because
We just don't do it.
No. Like, so give me an example because you lost me on that. Like, I don't even.
Well, you look at someone's email now.
Right.
It'll be Hal Smith, him, his.
Yeah, I don't even
right?
understand. You lost me on that. Yeah, that doesn't even.
See, here's the thing. Alpha dogs know they're men. They don't identify as men. We are men.
So
we don't use gender pronouns.
Well, because we don't even think we just know. So as human beings, we have our souls inside of us, right?
Yeah.
And our souls is who we are. Mm-hmm. All right. Like I know I'm a man because I have a penis. Mm-hmm. And I know I'm a man because of the things that I think about. Like I'm thinking.
But how do you know you're an alpha dog?
You're an alpha dog. An alpha dog is a okay. So in order to be an alpha dog, you have to take responsibility more than just yourself.
That's right.
Meaning, you're going to lead by example, meaning, that when you step out to other men, you look them in the eye, they know that, look, we have a mutual respect, but you got something, right?
That's right.
You take pride in the way you look, you take pride in the way you think, you take pride in your decisions, you take pride in everything that you do. And when you execute something, right, you take pride in that as well.
That's right.
Where it's just having pride in yourself, and what makes an alpha dog different is this: I'm sitting in a restaurant looking at the exit door and the entrance door, because if anything ever happens, I got to be ready for it.
I'm out.
If you're not even looking at the door and you're eating your food and you're enjoying your food, you're not even an alpha. You're not because you're not worried about anything except for how good the food is.
That's right.
You're not worried if anything is going to happen to the person. You're just not worried about anything. And if you're not worried, you're not alpha.
I agree. And again, I'm going to highlight, we don't use gender pronouns. Here's another one of my favorites.
All right, go ahead.
Alpha dogs don't identify as male. We are men.
Yeah, I'm telling that goes. Yeah, that
right.
Goes.
We're men.
Yeah. So I know where you're going with this. So yeah, I'm talking about once you have to identify with yourself, you're insecure.
That's right. That's
I'm
right.
That's forget about you trying to be an alpha or anything else. You're insecure.
Yeah. Either you are.
Because because when you have to tell yourself that you're something, you're insecure. Because you should know. Just like anything else, like praying out loud. You don't need to pray out loud. You could pray it inside. If you give money away to donation, you could just do it instead of telling everybody that you're doing it. It's all the same. It's all relative. You know what I mean?
That's right.
When you know something, like if you know the color is black, I don't have to say I'm wearing black. You can see that I'm wearing black.
That's right.
Right? So, once you have to say it, then you have there's a problem within yourself. Yeah.
You've lost it.
You're insecure.
And you know what? I hope you appreciate Rich. I'm trying to rock a little of the dark shades myself here.
Yeah.
I said I'm going to be, if this is the Legend of the Dark Knight, I'm going to be Robin at least here. Maybe I should have wore red, but I got this going.
So we can talk about that.
That's
so,
right.
Alpha, why do I wear black all the time? Color gives off emotions. Okay? I am emotional. I have emotions, but I'm not emotional. How's that? Is that a little bit better? Alphas do have emotions. Like I have, but I understand my emotions. So the difference between me and someone who's not alpha, right? Or because there's a lot of alphas out there, just different. Yeah, it's just different grades of them.
That's right. There really are different grades.
But the difference between an alpha and a non-alpha is that while a non-alpha will run away from the things that bother them, like maybe fear or maybe hurt or maybe all the other whatever it may be, they might run away from it. Alphas indulge in it.
That's right.
Like if I get hurt, you hurt me, I'm not gonna if it's in a relationship, you hurt me, I get hurt, I'm okay. The question is, are you okay?
That's right.
I'm worried about you because I know I'm gonna be all right.
Right.
Now the difference is this: I don't need to go to the gym to not think about it. I want to think about it. Okay, because that's the thing that people don't understand. It's on the contrary when it comes to feelings. The more you indulge in your feelings, the quicker it's gonna go away. You know what I mean? And the reason for that is because you're digesting it. You're interacting with your feelings, and you're learning about yourself. You know what I mean?
Right.
So when you're hurt and you're thinking about someone, like if I thought about the girl that if we broke up, I say, listen, I love you. It sucks that I'm feeling this way, but bring it.
Right. And
you know what I mean?
And you wish her well.
Right. But what I won't do is say she's a bitch.
Right.
She's this. She's that.
That's right.
No, I don't.
That's
I
not
don't
cool.
No, that's not.
And you bring up relationships. Here's another way you know someone's an alpha dog. They always date pretty women, and if they're a gay alpha dog, they always date handsome men. Alpha dogs don't date unattractive.
Right. So I'm glad you brought up the gay aspect of it. To be you can be a gay alpha dog.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But being a gay alpha dog means this: you're not hiding. Alphas don't hide. If you're hiding, you're automatically not an alpha.
Not an alpha.
I mean, so if you and that's another thing. Like, what I mean by hiding is if you're a gay man and your girlfriend doesn't know you're gay, not only you're a terrible person.
That's right.
Who knows?
That's right.
Because you don't know if the guy that you're with, what kind, if they had a disease or whatever. You know what I mean? You have to at least let the woman know so she can make a decision whether or not she wants to be with you or not.
Absolutely.
So if you're doing it, not only you're not an alpha, but you're just a bad human being.
Absolutely.
Right?
You're not. Yeah. So, you're just a dog.
Yeah.
Now.
You're a bad human being. So you have to come out. I'm telling you, being an alpha is like, listen.
It's being honest with who you are.
Yeah, whatever you are, you are. Like I said, not everyone's going to like the way I look. Not everyone's going to like the way I dress. But I don't care. I'm going to dress the way I do. And if you don't like it, I feel bad for you. Don't look.
That's it.
But I'm going to do what I'm going to do.
Absolutely.
Period.
See, that's what alpha dogs do. And we're losing alpha dogs. Here's another one I think you'll appreciate, Rich, because I believe you are. You ready for this? Alpha dogs are really wonderful fathers.
So, I don't know about, I don't know if a bad person can be an alpha dog. That I don't know. But what I do know is that when you're an alpha dog, it's not about you. It's always about everyone else but you. But it will be about you at the end. And what that means is that when you have a child, that's a huge responsibility.
Massive,
you know what I mean?
Right? Massive.
Yeah, so when I say it's not about you, you're going to make decisions based on the outcome of every situation that's going to benefit your child.
And what do non-alpha dog dads do? What do? They leave.
Yeah.
They don't stay.
No, they don't.
They don't
stay.
show up.
No, you can't. Yeah.
Right?
That's selfish. So that's what I'm saying. So being an alpha is a lot of responsibilities
Tons.
because
It's so beautiful.
yeah, because when you walk outside, right, how people portray you. Whether I'm telling, look, they're gonna judge you no matter what. But what I'm saying is, your actions, okay, your actions actually, that's gonna control how people are going to respect you or not.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So you can have all the money in the world, but if they see you drunk all the time, you're nothing.
That's right.
You can have all the money in the world, but they see you treat your family like like trash. You're nothing.
And you're bringing up alpha dogs don't abuse chemicals, do they?
No, we don't. No, we don't
Right.
do that. No, because you can't. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
If you're an alpha, what happens is you take full responsibility of your life. You take full responsibility of your child's life.
That's it.
I can't. I would never come up here and like if as an alpha, you would never hear an alpha say, "Listen, my kid, they're doing bad. I don't know why, but listen, I'm gonna know why."
That's right.
If I talk to my child and I see a little bit she's off,
Yeah.
what's going on?
Yeah.
Listen, I need to come see you. You know what I mean? If it's a little bit off, I need to know.
That's right.
You know what I mean? I don't take alphas don't take a blind eye.
No.
And also, we're not trying to be in denial.
Again, it's we own our shit, don't we?
Yes, we do.
And we own those who rely on us, meaning we own their feelings. Here's another one, Rich. Alpha dogs are loving and strong partners.
So that's what I'm trying to tell you. So again, alphas don't make it about them. So what does that mean? That means this. I'm gonna love you. That's why we had a conversation. You might not like this because we talk about unconditional, but alphas actually love unconditionally. Because what happens is this: I'm gonna love you, okay. Whatever mistakes you make, okay, it's going to bother me. It's going to hurt me, okay, but it won't affect me.
Mistakes.
There's a difference. Mistakes. It won't affect me. Meaning this, like, listen, I'll teach you the tools how to do things. But once you know the tools and you made a executive decision to do something different, that's going to really hurt you. Okay, it's going to hurt me. It's going to really bother you, but it won't bother me because I understand that you're human and I understand that you might have to learn the hard way. Because there's an easy way of learning things, Jeff, and there's a hard way. The easy way is me telling you. The hard way is you doing it and then the balloon payment comes, right?
Yeah,
the big balloon payment.
Yeah.
And when the balloon payment comes, unfortunately, I can't help you anymore because you have to go through the balloon payment to understand that you'll never do that again.
That's right.
You understand? Meaning this, okay? So submersible, right? I would have never been on that ship, Jeff. Okay?
Yeah,
I got to tell you, right? But when they got on that ship, they could have had a balloon payment. That was a balloon payment that they had.
Big.
You know what I mean? If
Big
they were asked what their regret would be before they passed away, it was for getting on that ship. And so, like I said, to keep everything straight, yeah. So I can love unconditionally, okay? Because it's not about me; it's about you. But when you make a decision without me, then it's without me, Jeff.
That is where I think maybe it knocks on the door of some condition, right?
No. So when you make a decision without me, it has to be without me. It has no conditions in it. Reason why it has to be without me is not because I don't care. It's not because I don't want to help you. It's because now you have to pay that balloon payment. I am not helping you if you make a mistake and then I solve the problem. I'm only helping you if you make that mistake and you have to figure it out. Okay? Because after you figure it out, you have grown yourself and you have become stronger. And now you may or may not make that decision again.
Well, you know what you reminded me of, Rich, is I was going to read number 5, but I'm going to read number 6 right now because this is what you're talking about, I think, to some degree. I love this one. This is going to ruffle some feathers for some people. Alpha dogs are educated, they read, and they're informed. And by the way, I'm not talking about they got degrees. There's a difference between that. I know plenty of people with degrees who are dumbasses. They don't have any street smarts. Alpha dogs are educated.
They have to be, Jeff.
Right? They're informed.
See, listen, because I just said, it goes to what I just said in the beginning. Like, everything, it's always my fault. All right? I will make mistakes if I'm not educated. Right? I will make mistakes if I'm not informed. Correct?
Yeah.
Because, see, the thing about alpha males is we don't have a net. There's no net. We don't have a safety net.
We are the safety net.
Yeah, we are the safety net. So
That's
if
right.
I don't know, Jeff, alpha dogs lead. So if we don't know,
That's right.
who's going to know?
That's right.
We have to know.
That's right.
And the thing is, it's one of those things. It's this. This is what a lot of people, and this is what non-alphas do. they say to the doctor, they say to everyone else, listen, when they don't understand something, listen, they say this to them. I believe in God. I'm going to put my life in your hands, doctor, because I know I trust you. That's not why. They just don't want to do the research. Mm-hmm. They just don't want to take responsibility of their lives. Mm-hmm. They don't want to say, listen, you know what I mean? That doesn't make sense, doc. Listen, I know you went to school and everything, but look, after doing my research, that doesn't make any sense. Now, I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
So my my ex-girlfriend, who had what do you call it? She had breast cancer, mm-hmm. okay? And she had a tumor, right? Mm-hmm. And the tumor, it was a stage 1, stage 2. Mm-hmm. The protocol for that was they wanted to give her chemotherapy, right? Shrink the tumor, mm-hmm. and then do a lumpectomy.
Yep.
Okay? And after doing some research, I realized that by hitting it with chemotherapy, there's a possibility that it could spread. It could metastasize, mm-hmm. right? Just a possibility. So I questioned the doctor on that. I'm like, well, so listen, why would you want to just do chemo? Why do you want to do chemo first before just taking it out right now? And she said, well, we want to give her chemo, and then we want to shrink the tumor so there won't be a dent in her breast because she's still young, mm-hmm. right? And then afterwards we can just take it out. And so then I said to her, well, isn't it a possibility that it could spread? And she's like, yes, it could spread, but it's a very small chance. I'm like, well, why won't you just take it out? And then I looked at Maya, and I said to her, and I said, listen, like, what would you, knowing this information, what would you do? She's like, take it out. Mm-hmm. But she wasn't even going to give her that option.
Right.
All right, but I questioned her because this is why.
That's what alpha dogs do.
Because if I didn't,
mm-hmm.
right,
mm-hmm.
and it did metastasize,
mm-hmm.
right,
mm-hmm.
then I would have a regret.
Big time.
Right?
Alpha dogs have some regrets, but we don't live our life in regret, do we?
So that's another thing.
Right?
Right. So listen,
we don't do that.
So once the alpha dog, I'm speaking on myself. So once I make a decision, and if it's wrong, Jeff, I accept my balloon payment.
We take ownership.
After I accept my balloon payment,
mm-hmm.
it's in the rearview mirror. I'm not thinking about that anymore.
I love it.
I'm not thinking that's done. That's a done deal.
Alpha dogs.
I'm just never going to do that again. You right?
I love it. Right?
Yeah, it's a done deal. I don't dwell over it. No, I don't. Another thing I do when I go to bed, Jeff.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever's in the past is the past. People think I forget a lot. It's not that I forget a lot. I throw it in the past. So people want to bring things up. Like if I'm with someone, they're like, "Well, let's talk about the other day." I'm like, "Listen, the other day is done.
It's over."
After we talked for 3 hours that day.
Yeah.
That day's gone.
That was 2.5 hours too long.
Listen, I'm not, because that's it. That's gone.
Yeah.
It's you know what I mean? I can't dwell on that.
No.
I mean, you know what I'm going to do, Jeff? Every day?
Mm-hmm.
I'm living today to the fullest. Because I don't even know what's going to happen tomorrow. I don't even know what's going to happen 5 minutes from now.
It's so true. We could walk out of the studio and God only knows what could happen, right?
So many things.
About somebody out there protesting alpha males.
I do something that's crazy. So I was on a date with someone. This was like probably 4 years ago, right? And I went to go tie my shoe, and I stood up, and there was like a pole or something there, and I dashed the top of my head, and I was bleeding all over the place, right? And I was in a great mood. She's like, "Why are you in a great mood? And you're bleeding all over the place." I'm like, "Listen, if that's the worst that happens to me, I'm good."
Yeah.
Because right now, someone else found out they had cancer, someone else died, someone else had a heart attack. Something's gonna happen to us, Jeff.
That's right.
All right, and if it's something small, you got to say thank you.
Yeah, if that's right, if that's the extent of it.
Right.
As I think about it too, again, alpha dogs, we don't play the victim role. We're not into victimology. We're not into identity politics. We recognize we have been given some rights and some freedoms, and we take advantage of it. Here's another nice one that I like. This one's coming through. It's so clear. Alpha dogs are confident. We're just not conceited. Oh, we got a little cockiness to us. But see, alpha dogs don't have to, like I love how when you were saying earlier, Rich, about if you're going to donate to charity, donate to charity. It does demean it to actually tell people. Can you imagine if you came into the studio today and I said, "Rich, I gave $100,000 to a charity." A, why am I telling you?
Right.
And how are you supposed to react? And if I'm that insecure that I need you to somehow give me some positive feedback and a compliment, no. You know what? Alpha dogs, no.
Right.
Right? All
And you're
alpha
right, yeah,
dogs
you're right.
know that they've done something well and they don't need to hear it. It's not that we don't want compliments, right?
But nowadays, so that's what I'm saying. So you have the alpha dog who knows, but then you also have
Mm-hmm.
life.
Mhm.
Life is changing.
Mhm.
Okay, so if you own a company, you might have to say that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And that has nothing to do with you being an alpha dog. This is how life is right now. People want to hear that you're donating. People want to hear, like for instance, like a lot of guys. Even I was watching shows on YouTube, and they make a lot of guys like dress up as girls now for movies and stuff like that. Like that's just the way it goes. Now I don't know. I couldn't do it. I don't. And I'm saying this right now. First of all, I'm gonna say this. I'm not in their shoes. I'm not an actor. But I would like to think I wouldn't do it. Matter of fact, personally, because I don't like to say that. And personally, I know I wouldn't do it. But just for argument's
I can
sake.
be bought, Rich. I'm telling you right
I
now.
can't be bought on that, brother. That's one of the reasons why. So
I
that's
can be
and that's
bought.
and that's the problem with life, though,
Yeah,
Jeff.
yeah.
Right. So in life is this. Right. If you want to live in the gray area, meaning happiness is in the gray area. I'm telling you, that's where happiness is. If you want it all, it's gonna come with a balloon payment. If you want to be broke, it's gonna come with a balloon payment.
Mhm.
You're gonna have some kind of payment living in the gray area, and that payment will be this. You're never gonna have everything, but you'll have what you want.
That's right.
The problem with having everything is, and there's a lot of guys that listen, I want this, I want that. It's not out to what you think it is because everything normalizes at the end.
That's
you
right.
can have the best car in the world, and then after you have it, it's just a car.
It is,
You
isn't
can
it
have
true?
the best looking woman in the world, but if she don't have that personality, she's just the best looking girl in the world. That's it.
And even then,
Right.
right? As we talked about in our last
Right.
podcast, things can change.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
See, you're highlighting, Rich, another thing that alpha dogs, we appreciate what we have, but we also don't settle.
No,
Right?
we don't.
Alpha dogs are kind of looking and moving and grooving, and they appreciate what we have, but we don't settle.
Right. No, we don't. No,
we're not.
we don't settle.
We're not settlers, Rich.
And-
Here's another big one. This is my belief, anyway. So I'd be curious what your thoughts are. I don't believe a man, and women could be alpha dogs too, but right now we're talking about men. I don't believe a man could be an alpha dog unless they work out. I just
So the thing
they have
is,
to do something
so
physical, or to me
Right.
they're not an alpha dog.
So-
I don't think you can be it without feeling good physically too.
I tell you something. I'm gonna tell you something, Jeff, and this is from my experience. So I would say that you are right on that. But from my experience, I have a different view, and I'll tell you what it is. There was a short dude. Okay, so when I was younger, right, I moved into a apartment complex, right.
Yeah.
And this when I walked it, I walked into the, because I was still built. I've been working out since I was like 16, right. So the lady at the front desk was like, "Oh my God," she's like, "Now we have two big guys here." She's like, "I have this other guy. I'm not gonna name his name. He's like, he walks around. He's like, he's real big. You'll meet him. He's a real nice guy. Blah 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 blah. Right? But he's an alpha, right? Because people are talking about. That's one thing. People are always talking about the alpha.
It's true.
When I saw this dude, he didn't work out. He was small as shit. I thought he was small as hell. But because he was an alpha, he appeared bigger to other people's.
He carried it.
Yeah, he carried it bigger. So even though he didn't work out,
Mm-hmm.
he still people looked at him and thought he was big.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing about life is perception, Jeff.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, you would think, right? I'm
Mhm.
telling you would think, but I worked out every single day. I'm so much stronger than him, right?
Mhm.
But he, but the way he carried himself, someone actually, they told me that he was big.
And there is a presence, and with the exercise, it doesn't even have to be weights. Although I think
Right.
weight training, if you're an alpha dog who weight trains, and like I said, I think for guys who aren't weight trainers,
Yeah.
but they want to be alpha dogs, weight training will help them get there because there's a whole lifestyle that goes
Well,
into weight
that's
training.
so. Let me close that out. What I was saying. So, to get to where what you're saying, alpha dogs are mentally strong,
Huge,
physically strong,
huge,
emotionally strong,
spiritually strong.
Right.
Right.
and we're intelligent.
Yeah,
Okay,
very.
we have to be intelligent,
Have to.
and you have different. I'm telling you, you have different stages.
Mhm.
Okay, but like I said, it's only repeat. It's only you do something, and it's all repeated over and over and over again. Like you go to the gym over and over again.
Yeah.
You're always like you You look out for others over and over again. You make different friendships here and there.
Reliable. Alpha
right?
dogs are reliable.
And over time, people will know. Like people are like, oh yeah, Jeff, he's a great guy. Oh yeah, Rich, I've known Rich for 30 years. He's been a great guy. You don't, your handshake means everything. Money has to be on the back burner when it comes to handshakes.
Yep.
Because an alpha cannot screw another man.
No, and they don't.
Right? So people always talk about trust, right? People say, and this is very important for all you guys out there. I don't need you to trust me. I have to trust me. I'm not stealing from you because it's going to hurt who I am. Right? I won't like myself anymore. And alphas have to like themselves.
What percent of all men, because not all men are alpha dogs, yet all alpha dogs are men. What percent of all men would you guess in this country, citizens, I always say that, are alpha dogs? What's your guess? I got a number.
True alpha dogs?
True alpha dogs.
I think about 2%.
I was with you on that, Rich.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll go up to 5 because I'm in a good mood today. But I was with you on 2%.
Yeah, I wouldn't even go, and I'll tell you why. Because people are selfish now, Jeff. All right? Men and women are selfish now. And if you're selfish, you're automatically not alpha.
No, it can't be.
I mean, so meaning this. So, Jeff, believe it or not, brother, I'm telling you, we're brothers now. If there was one P, right, and we're starving, we're splitting that P.
Absolutely.
Now, here's the problem with the alpha dog.
Yeah.
If you went to go grab that P without splitting with me, I'm going to have to take care of you, though, Jeff.
That's right.
But that is, right?
Yeah. That's it.
Because I'm going to tell you a story. Even when I was a little kid, I was an alpha when I was little. I'll tell you a Twinkie story, all right? And this is, if you see this, you're going to probably laugh because you did this to me. So me and the 3 friends went to a corner store, right?
Yeah, you did.
And I didn't have any money.
Yeah.
If you can believe that or not. And so this kid had money, and he went and bought some food, and he got Twinkies, right? So he came back out. I'm like, listen, bro. I'm like, give me one of those Twinkies. He said no. He's like, no. He's like, I want both of them. So I smacked it out of his hand, Jeff, and I stepped on him. I said, now we both don't have any Twinkies.
I got number 8 on my list. You ready for this one?
Yeah, go ahead.
You just blew it. If it was a Suzy Q or a Ding Dog or something, man, not a Twinkie. It says alpha dogs. You ready for this? Alpha dogs are never violent. And then I put unless, because there's times we're going to protect our kids.
So I was a kid and I was growing up. Obviously, if I'm an adult, I wouldn't do that.
That is the difference, right?
Yeah, my point was I was on a learning curve, right? I'm telling. My point was like, listen, you're part of the group, and then you don't want to share. Well, then guess what? So there's a difference. So you have to be. It was very calculated. I didn't take the Twinkie and eat it. Okay. What I did was like I was trying to teach him a level. I was teaching him a level. Like, listen, you want to have 2. You didn't want to share with one of your brothers. So now you have 0, and now we all have 0.
That's right.
So it would be different if I would be selfish if I ate it and I took it from him. Right? That's a whole different story.
It is, and I like how you say it's the evolution, because alpha dogs, remember, we don't settle, and we grow, we learn, we grow, and we learn.
That happened when I was like 7 or 8 years old.
Yeah, absolutely. So, boy, am I glad that you and I never went to the grocery store together.
So, are we violent? Only when we need to be, Jeff.
That's right. I put in here as a note. I put unless.
Only when we need to be. Yeah, only when we need to be.
Can I give you an example that just happened to me?
What's that?
On Thursday. So I'm driving home. I'm on 126, right? You take a left to Walmart, not a sponsor, can't stand the store, or a right to like Trader Joe's or whatever the hell store is there, not a sponsor, sort of like the store. Whole Foods, still sort of only like the store. I got food poisoning there one time. If you want me to change that story, become a sponsor. But back to the point. Some dude rear ends me.
Oh, man.
And I'm in my new truck. Why I'm saying it's new, I don't know, Rich, because you know me, all my cars are new. But I'm in my new truck.
Right.
And this dude rear ends me. And I'm like, and I go like this, and we pull over to the bank parking lot. He hops out of his car like he's going to be Mr. Badass. I mean, he's like 5'8", 120. And he thinks I tried to brake check him. And he's getting all kind of funky. And I'm just angry because, I got rear-ended and his car's jacked up. And I go around the backside of my truck, hardly any damage. So I'm instantly in a better mood.
Right.
And I said to him, well, I hope you're wherever you were in a rush to, I hope it was worth it, because now you ruined both our days. And he gets like up into my face. And I go, dude, do you see the size difference between us? And thankfully, he goes, oh, you could definitely beat my ass. And I go, no. There's going to be no violence. There's going to be no fighting. But I said, there's a size difference here. And if you bumped up against somebody else and rear-ended them with this size difference, and I said this to him, and they're not an alpha dog, not only is your hood dented, but your backside is dented because they just threw you into it. Now, here's the punchline to the story. I told him, I said, you got to slow your roll, relax. I know you're stressed out. And he starts tearing up a little bit because I just had such a bad day. And I go, and your day got worse, didn't he? Yeah. He gives me a hug, and he apologized. And we actually shook hands, and things were cool. The whole reason I bring up that story, that's what alpha dogs do. They take charge of a situation. They point out the disparity of the situation. They let the other person know, I'm in charge of this situation. But there's no threats. There's no, right? They didn't have to be violent. I have to be Mr. Tough Guy. No. I just pointed out to him. Yeah. Right? And de-escalated it. See, that's what alpha dogs do.
Yeah, so we talked, that was a good story. We talked about the how if you charity, you don't have to say that you're in, charity.
That's right.
You don't have to say, like I said, I don't say I have to wear black or I'm a man, like you're a man. That's the same thing of being strong or being tough. Like if you're tough, you don't need to act like you're tough.
You just
right. You need to act like you're tough. And I never, I don't talk about being tough. No. I talk about this. Like, look, this is what I'll say. I would never say that I'm tough, but I'll say this. Whatever situation it is, I'll be willing to handle it any way you want to handle it. Mm-hmm. If you want to be nice about it, we'll be nice about it. If you want to take, if you want something else, we could do something else. Mm-hmm. But whatever we do, if you can take it, you can have it.
That's right.
All right, and that's my motto. I don't want anything from anyone else.
Don't need it.
Yeah, I want to be happy. I want to treat everyone with respect. Mm-hmm. That's another thing alphas do. We treat everybody with respect. We don't care who you are, what color you are, how short,
until
fat.
they lose it.
Right.
Until they lose our respect. We
give it. And the thing is, you can't even lose my respect. I don't even care. I don't care to that much to even. You know what I mean?
Yes, alpha dogs don't care.
You know what I mean? Until you do, the only thing you can do is lose respect for yourself. I'm telling you, lose respect for me doesn't do anything.
That's right.
I don't. Like I said, I don't care what you. And, as far as, like, even my house, right? My house is my house. My land is my land. Outside my land, if you own your own house, that's another thing the alphas do, right? I don't care if you shit on your own lawn. That's your problem.
Yeah.
You can paint your house pink if you want to. It's your house.
Please
do whatever you want to do. We don't, I don't intrude in other people's business. I have to just make sure that whatever's behind me, Jeff,
that's right,
is taken care of.
That's right.
Other people, you do what you got to do. Now, if we both have to exchange words for whatever reason, I'm going to be, I'm going to be respectful.
And a gentleman.
And I'm going to be a gentleman. I'm going to be respectful. And hopefully you are too. Because two alphas should be able to get along.
Oh, big time. See, that's the cool thing. Alphas get along with other alphas.
Yeah.
A male struggles to get along. That dude hopping out of his car was a male.
Not hopping, yeah.
He had some issues. Well, let's wrap it with this, Rich. And I'll throw this out that, today, I guess, instead of bros who knows, this is alpha dogs who know. Rich and I believe you could become an alpha dog, but I like what Rich said at the beginning. You got to make a commitment. You got to choose to become an alpha dog. And Rich and I agree. In all probability, it's probably only about 2%. Because remember, you can't. Everybody can't be an alpha dog because then there's no. Someone's got to lead the sleigh. Someone's got to lead the pack.
Right.
But what Rich and I want you to know is guys, if you don't try to be an alpha dog. Yeah, it's a lonely world out there because the alpha dogs, we get all the beauty, we get the respect, we get all the feel-good things because it comes from within. And speaking of beauty and respect, Rich, we would be remiss if we didn't talk about an alpha dog that you and I both know and respect greatly, but our notorious producer, Michelle Hebshe. Now that's an alpha dog because
she's an alpha
Rich
dog.
And I come in thinking we're all badass and tough, and Michelle puts us in our place all the time.
Yeah, see, she's confident.
100%. Michelle comes in and takes care of business.
Oh, yeah.
So once again, we want to thank our important member of our team of Bros Who Know, Michelle Hebshe, who puts this together. And so on behalf of Rich, the Dark Knight Yancey, I'm Dr. Jeff LaCure. This has been another wonderful episode of Alpha Dogs Who Know, a.k.a. Bros Who Know. Have a wonderful week.